Yay. Nope. Try again.
Nope.
Nope. Hey!
We're here!
We are here!
That was a bit kind of sudden, wasn't it? Never mind.
It was, yes. Hello.
We're here!
Good evening. Connected.
That's
Welcome.
good.
Hello and welcome to Live Chat with Liz and Skatz.
It's lovely
Because
to
it
see
rhymes.
you.
It's our 25th live chat.
Oh, it's our silver chat.
Silver chat anniversary. Chativersary. Yay!
It's
So,
silly.
have a drink with us. No, I haven't got one in my hand.
No.
That was badly planned, wasn't it?
Oh, well.
Yeah. So, way back when we started these live chats in, when was it, October, November? I don't know.
It was October because we did a Halloweeny one.
We did. And we'd only just reported on my blood test results, I think, not too long before that,
Yeah.
which showed that I wasn't showing any symptoms of diabetes. And we were, yes, big cheers there. And it was just after that I reached my ideal weight. And now it was time for my blood tests again. That's why we've got these big vials of blood behind us. Blood. Backdrop is covered in blood.
It's not my favourite backdrop, I have to
No,
say.
no, it's not. Is it? It's a bit messy as well. It looks a bit mad. Anyway, so had the latest test results, and we'll be talking about those and telling you whether I've managed to keep to the plan or not, and what all these results mean. It's exciting. Excuse me. And also what my doctor said. What on earth did he say? Was it all blood, sweat and tears? There you go. He said the title.
Yeah, no, it's a Peter Griffin.
Yes. Back scratcher.
So, in case you didn't realise, huge Family Guy fans here.
Yes. And yes. So we'll also be filling you in on the latest news about the plans for Spain. And anything else? Probably. There'll be something else. You'll just have to wait and see. And there's always a song at the end. And it's a nice happy one. So let's do the theme. Our theme song. I had some words to it last week and I haven't written any words to it this week.
Oh, it's fine.
I'll do it with the pick this week.
La.
La 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 la. Ding. Oh, clattering my guitar now.
It's a good ting, this one.
It does have a good sustain, doesn't it?
Still going.
It is. There.
Wow.
So, let's get straight on with the test results. Now, I have them here in my hand. I hold in my hand a piece of paper. Famous words of Neville Chamberlain. That didn't go very well.
No, I was going to say, that's
Those
not a
pieces
really
of
good
paper.
example of
It's
that.
not really, is it? These are better results than that.
Yeah.
I'm putting on the specs for this because it's only tiny writing. Maybe that's what they're doing. They're testing your eyes when they give you this at the same time.
Well, and
That's the test.
and whether or not you've actually got any patience as well, because it's just
Yes.
yeah.
So, first of all, probably the most important one is the HbA1c, which is the glucose test. And it's the one that it kind of covers your average
For 3
glucose
months, isn't it?
for about 3 months, which is important. And I'm glad, well, would that have covered Christmas? No, just kind of
Not
just
quite.
before New Year, fortunately, because that's when I was eating all of the...
Mind you,
loads
it
of
wasn't like you were
stuff.
yomping loads of sweets and cakes and stuff over Christmas either.
No, it's true. It was all keto, but
We
there
probably had
there
a
was
bit
an
more.
excess of stuff.
And there was probably more
Food
carbs
in
than
general.
usual, perhaps. So,
Yeah. But anyway, it showed, and the reading was 39, which is exactly the same as it was back in October.
which is great.
And the range is between 20 and 42. That's good. The doctor said, brilliant, that is good.
Yeah.
Cork B12. Why does it say cork? I don't know. But B12, my B12 reading was good. That's okie dokie. He said my D3 was good. What's that?
Just a thing about vitamin B12 is that in this country it's actually quite low for it to be okay. But if you go to somewhere like Spain or France, the B12 that we have here, they'd be giving us injections.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So the standard of B12 differs from country to country, even within the EU.
And what do you need to get more B12?
Well, it's kind of, I'm just B12 is kind of
meaty things.
It's meaty things and animal products and things.
I've just had a massive steak, so my B12 is going to be through the roof. I think I'll be fine in Spain.
But also, you need to be eating stuff that's going to help you to actually ingest that. So if you've had, if your gut flora isn't brilliant and your digestive system isn't fantastic, you will not be ingesting B12 in the same way that you would. So you need to be healthy on more than one scale in order to be able to ingest these vitamins. It's all very well having the vitamins, but if your body is not accepting of them, then you're just going to excrete them out again.
Yes.
Sorry to say excreted. 5 past.
That's all right. It just means excrete. It doesn't mean particular things that you're excreting.
That's true.
That's the nasty stuff that you don't want to know about while you're eating your dinner.
Indeed.
So, yes, that was good. And he went down, the doctor went down all of these things. Although glucose fasting, he never mentioned my fasting glucose.
No, it's
because
quite high.
That's just, that's just a test of exactly what your glucose level was at the time when you had the test, which is not really worth worrying about unless it's really, really high. But even then, I guess if your fasting glucose was really, really high, that would mean you've still got some glucose in your system from the night before.
Yeah, but also
when you were eating.
It's a combination of HA1C and your fasting glucose. So if they're both below a certain, if your HA1C is quite low, then he wouldn't be that concerned about your fasting glucose, I don't think.
There we go.
Because it's the one that's over 3 months that they really do concentrate on.
It is.
Because it's a much better idea of what's been going on.
And we know that people who've been tested who are on keto and fasting as well, you do have some spikes of glucose during the day. You have one when you wake up in the morning.
Yeah.
And 12 hours after your last meal, if you're fasting, is it?
It's more. Yes, it is around about 12 hours. So, I mean, if you eat at sort of 8 o'clock at night, for example, then about 8 o'clock in the morning, you're going to have a spike of glucose. It's as simple as that. And it's just because your body starts metabolising the glucose or the glycogen from out of your liver. Anything that's left is stored in the liver.
Yes.
And so you'll start to excrete that, so your blood sugar will actually go up if you're fasting.
You said excrete again.
I did. I'm sorry. So sorry.
There's going to be a lot of excreting going on.
Excrete is the word of the day, obviously. So there we are.
Blood and excrete.
Yes.
So there you go. So that my reading for that was 7.5, and
what is it supposed to be below?
If it's greater than 6.9, then it could be that you're diabetic.
Yeah, well, I don't.
That's the kind of cut-off level for the diagnosis of diabetes mellitus. The proper reading 4.1 to 5.9. I was 5.9 last time, so I've gone up to 7.5. It's gone up quite a bit, but that was just at the moment when the test was done. So I am not worried about that.
They're obviously not overly concerned about it.
Yeah, he didn't mention it at all.
No.
But what he was concerned about, which is not on that page. There's nothing I need to know on that page. Lymphocytes, monocytes, eosinophilisis. Don't know what that is. But the important thing is the cholesterol. Well, that's what he thought was important, and we'll tell you why we think slightly differently. First of all, the total reading, 7.1 mmol per litre. Millimoles. Millimoles. Tiny little moles and voles. Yes, so and that was 7.1. So that's above the level of 5, which is supposed to be.
Yeah.
For if you're on a high carb diet, then and you get more than 5, then you might be in trouble.
They were very concerned about me last time because mine was like that.
Yeah.
Mine was about 7 point something.
And my triglycerides are 0.7 now. That's gone down from 1.0 to 0.7, and that is good. My HDL, which is so-called good cholesterol, don't like this terminology, but it's 1.3, and it really should be above 1.7. That's what they say. And my LDL cholesterol, which is what they call the bad cholesterol, which it's not, is 5.5, and that should be less than 1. Really? No, less than 3. Now, we know, and with the research we've done, Liz will explain it better than me, but I'll put it in in a very simple sum. If you divide your triglyceride reading with your HDL reading, and in which case you get, in my case, 0.5, anything of 0.8 or below effectively means that the kind of LDL cholesterol that you have in your system is nowhere near sufficient to cause a problem in your arteries.
It's not going to cause plaquing of the arteries.
Not going to cause
basically.
plaquing. So that means, so you don't need anything to do about it. That's not the right sentence at all, is it? You don't have to do anything about it. But explain it slightly more.
Well, there's something called the Feldman protocol. Look this up because it is an absolutely brilliant piece of scientific discovery that's been going around now for about 20 years or so. And there's a lot of dietitians and doctors who specialise in either cholesterol levels or they're specialising in heart blockages also. Cardiovascular surgeons now who are actually looking to the Feldman protocol rather than the standard medical that everybody is kind of speaking out all the time whenever you go to a British or an Irish doctor, which is if your LDL or the so-called bad cholesterol is over 5, then they start getting concerned and they want to put you on statins or put you on aspirin, when in fact actually it depends which LDL particles you have. They don't actually spin the blood here when you get a test. It's just they test it, and it's basically they don't even test for the medium level DL either. So it's like they're just kind of guessing. So if you actually ask for your blood to be spun rather than not, then you may have to pay a little bit extra, but it does actually give you a way more accurate LDL score. And it also depends on how many carbohydrates you're eating. If you're eating a lot of carbohydrates, which break down into sugar, then there is a certain protein that lives on the LDL protein, on the LDL molecule. And if that is highlighted because you're eating a lot of carbohydrate, which it will be, then that means it can then go into your artery walls and start causing plaque. But if you're not eating that much in the way of carbohydrates, I mean, we eat less than 20 grams of carbohydrates every day right now. That's nowhere near enough to cause any kind of issue with our LDL cholesterol. I'm absolutely rock solid 100% about this scientific information because I've heard it from a great many really good scientific journals and doctors who can be trusted and who are well respected within the field. And it is something that they are looking into, changing the protocol so that actually they don't actually have to start giving out too many statins, because the side effects from taking statins are, as far as I'm concerned, far outweigh not taking them and just changing your diet. If you change your diet, you don't have to take them. But unfortunately, with a keto diet, because you're eating high-fat diet, 70% of our food that we eat is actually fat.
It's fat, yeah.
Because that's what we are using to burn for energy right now. And we still lost weight even though we're eating 70% fat, so go figure. And this is the thing, it is going to push your LDL levels up. But it doesn't necessarily mean that it's scary time. And I've done so much research on this and I'm totally convinced. So do your own research, look for the Feldman protocol and see for yourself what's going on, and realise that you probably don't need to be taking statins. Statins lead to brain degeneration, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, lots of other dementias, vascular dementia. I don't want to go anywhere near it. So. And
one thing that is going to be very important when I get to Spain, and probably even before I get to Spain, because my doctor is bound to, if I have another blood test before I go, he's probably going to say exactly the same thing which he said today, and which not today but this week, and what he said back in October, which is, I think it's time for you to go on statins now, and I think it's time for you to go on all of the other
blood thinners,
diabetes things
aspirin.
and blood thinners, he said. And I said, no, I'm not going on statins. And he just typed it into the medical report on the computer. And then he said, well, if you're not going to do that, I'd like you to go on aspirin. And I said, no, don't want to do that either, because I don't believe it's necessary, based on what we told you last time. And I don't know whether he remembered it or not. I don't think he did. And so I think what's going to be important is to have this, is to have a sheet of paper with the Feldman protocol on it that I can hand to a doctor, and I'll have one that's translated into Spanish as well for when we get to Spain, so that the doctor, when he sees all of the blood test results and when he sees my medical records which say this patient refused statins, then he'll know exactly why, and I won't have to try and muddle through in pidgin Spanish to tell him the first time I go in there, and I may have to argue it with. No, I won't have to argue it with medical health insurance, because we'll be self-employed, so we'll be all right. We get medical coverage.
The wonderful thing about going to European public health, like Spanish public health and French public health, is that they are way ahead of things, and they do tend to keep up with the latest information. My brother and his wife live in the north of Spain, and they have a doctor's where it's a GP, and they've got a conventional GP, but they've also got an aromatherapist and an osteopath and a chiropractor, and and it's just like you go to them, and then you go to them, and then you go to them, and it's all in the same building, and they all recommend each other, and it's complementary medicine, and that's the kind of thing that we are hoping for when we move to Spain as well, because they are starting to come up in that way of thinking as well, which is fantastic.
You'd think the Americans would be better at that, but actually the Americans are the ones who are giving out the most statins and giving out. What my doctor said actually was that he was trying to argue me around to taking aspirin. He said most Americans over 55 years old are on aspirin, which is just ridiculous. They're on blood thinners.
It's not something.
If they have a blood-brain bleed, which is difficult to say,
well,
then it's just gonna if you fall over,
which is more likely the older you get. If you're falling over. After you're sort of 70 years old and you're on blood thinners, you're potentially going to do yourself a real damage. Or if you have a car accident, or if you have an accident of any description.
You don't want thin blood.
You really don't.
When you're bleeding.
No. I mean, you want it to prevent stroke and heart attack, but if you're not doing the diet that leads to that, then you don't need it.
Yes. So we're going to have to do a lot of persuading, I think.
I think we'll be all right in Spain.
Good. So
we've not got much longer here to have to deal with this. No,
that's good. Hopefully not. Well, that's the blood test things. I don't need to go through any more readings, because those were the important ones. So I'm still doing well. I'm still free of the symptoms of diabetes. Yes.
Yeah, well,
it works.
Go for such a long time without food, which is the key. Because the thing that was happening to him before was that he couldn't go any long periods of time without any food. He'd get hangry, or he'd get really tired, and just would kind of shut down almost. But that's carbohydrate. That's unfortunately carbohydrate, high carbohydrate diet. That's what happens. But now you can go without food until 2-3 o'clock in the afternoon from the night before, and still be working away and being able to converse with me and not getting grumpy, and he's fine. So
still got energy into the evening.
Which is incredible. We both feel
we like
so
that.
Much better.
We like that. If we could press the like key, we would press it now. So you do it for us. Press the like button.
Please.
Please, yes.
Thank you.
Yes. So, next topic. Waiting for work. When will we be starting again? You were just talking to somebody about that.
Yes, I keep getting phone calls and text messages and messages. Am I at work? Well, no, I'm not yet back at work. We have relaxed some of the restrictions here in Ireland, in that we can now go county-wide, and some of us can creep across the border for 20 kilometres as well. So, which is great. It just means that we've got a little bit more scope for disappearing off. We can go up to the national park and things like that, which is lovely. However, non-essential retail is not open, and it's only construction and schools that are open right now, and obviously the essential food stores and things like that are open.
That's it.
And buildings stuff and, what do you call them, hardware stores and things like that. So they're open right now, but for me...
But we're not.
But for me, the earliest I will be open and working again in my clinic room will be the 4th of May, I believe. That's something that was mentioned the other day. However, in the news over the last couple of weeks, we've got severe vaccine shortage here in Ireland. They've had to close the vaccination centre in Tralee because there's just no vaccinations there. They haven't had any. There's no vaccines. And with the weirdness of AstraZeneca, which is completely bonkers because it's like it's an infinitesimal amount of people who are getting really sick, and it's mad that they've stopped giving it to everybody. And now the Johnson & Johnson, which is made in the same way, they're very concerned about it, and so they've stopped. So now we're just Pfizer and Moderna here at the moment, and there's not a lot of that. However, today we've heard that there are 500,000 Pfizer vaccines coming in the next week or two, I believe. So they'll be reverting back to Pfizer, which is great. Cool. And then hopefully once everybody just stops running around like headless chickens about the AstraZeneca vaccine, then we can get back to normal and start vaccinating up to scratch again. But we are currently 6 weeks behind on the so-called Irish roadmap of vaccinations. So anybody who was due to be vaccinated by the end of June probably won't be vaccinated until the middle of July now. So that's how it is.
Yeah.
So we're in a bit of a pickle, really.
Yeah. So in the entertainment industry, there's no light at the end of the tunnel there. Everything's gone online, so and none of that is really earning.
But what are you up to, though?
Well, that happens to be the next topic
that's
on the list.
Why I was moving us forward.
Exactly.
Segue.
The beautiful segue. I've been filming some wellness videos for schools with Otto the octopus artist, big purple octopus. It was very funny. No, he's in the other room. It would take too long to pull him through the backdrop.
It's a shame you couldn't see him.
And I've got other puppets as well. I'll show you one of the other puppets.
Yeah.
It's going to look very strange because we've got the green screen chroma key, and this puppet has green lips. So this one, I've changed its name for this. It used to be called, I can't remember what it was called, but he's now called Padinky. Hello. Yes, as you can see the lips, so you can see through the lips and through the eyes as well. Ooh, so it looks a bit strange.
Oh well.
Anyway, yes.
I get the idea.
Anyway, the pink, fluffy.
Yeah.
But he sounds like he's from the Bronx or something. I don't know. Some kind of strange. Oh, it sounds like was it Edna from Monsters Inc. Hello. Yeah, got a voice like that.
And he has a small resemblance to somebody who appeared on our channel as well a while ago.
Oh yes, what was his name?
Keto Chris.
Cranky Chris. Who complained about people who weren't doing keto right. Yeah, a little bit slightly similar accent to him. Yeah. So that's been loads of fun, and I'm kind of making one of those a week. There's a series of 6, which hopefully will be going out to a lot of schools, and financially it's not doing much at the moment, so it's I've got to wait for all of that to take off. So that's kind of business that might come in the future, which is really nice, and it's keeping me busy and active. And so I'm writing, I'm doing voices for puppets, and I'm writing songs, and working in partnership with a dance drama teacher from up in Tralee, and we're doing everything via the internet. So it's exciting, and I'm starting a school project next week about dragons. That's the theme. We just created a theme, and it's basically to help them in their writing, in their English literature skills. So fabulous. That's going to be fun, and I might actually be going into the school, so that's exciting.
Yeah.
So things are starting to get moving.
Going somewhere,
and I'll be allowed because I'm I'll be classed as a teacher, so I'll be able to move around a bit more. So that's good. And so none of the gigs or hospital stuff that I used to do can be done. So the vast majority of my work is on hold, but it's just there's the hint of things that are coming about.
It's something.
So that's good.
It's good, yeah.
So that's that news. So Spain, as usual, you're going to get a Spain update. We're still waiting. We don't want to make it boring by saying it's exactly the same as this week, because we are doing some things. We are in the process of changing cars now, both of us, because Liz's car went kaput. So
dear little Mo.
we were hoping that car would last us until we went, and then it was going to be scrapped before we left.
But left with somebody.
Yeah, and the original plan was that I was going to exchange my expensive car for a cheaper one, which we would then drive all the way down to the bottom of Spain and then scrap that one there. But I think what's going to happen now is that we're going to look for a car for Liz, which is going to be the one we'll go down in. And then the car that I exchange for is hopefully going to be another Prius, but a very old one. And that'll keep me going until we go, and it'll be nice, and it's an automatic and cheap on fuel, and it might still be worth something because the battery was changed recently and they're worth about 700 quid.
Yeah, just on their own.
So it'll be worth more.
Really expensive.
Maybe you can scrap it for a good amount.
Yeah,
because of the battery.
I'm going to have the humongous car for a change. It's normally the other way around. I normally have teeny tiny little least expensive car possible. But this time I'm going to have a humongous car, so we're going to have a look at cars on Saturday, so I'm very excited about that. We've got 2 in the running. We've got a Ford Galaxy and a VW Charan. So
these are the big 7-seater SUVs, and hopefully we can take the seats out or lay them completely flat. So if we can take them out, then it'll be a lot less weight, which will mean we can put more in the car.
We can just put more weight back in again in stuff.
If we've got the seats and a load of weight, then it's going to be it's going to take up more fuel on the way down.
If that's the way it is, that's the way it is. So we've just got to, beggars can't be choosers.
And if we have a roof box as well, then it's just going to be a very, very slow drive.
Well, we've only got a certain amount of money, and if we had 6-7 grand to spend on a car, then hallelujah, it would be fabulous. But we haven't. So because everything is sort of, we've budgeted for everything, and we've got sort of 1,500 quid to spend on this car, so we've just got to go with what's available.
We have,
and we'll just have to see. And if necessary, we can just out the seats anyway. We'll just see what we can do.
Yeah,
they've got to come out.
Just
they're
get some
not, welded into
bolt cutters. Yeah, they're bolted on or something.
Oh,
some of them, the older Galaxy. Excuse me, my nose have got one itchy hair that I can't get rid of. The older Galaxies, I think before 2006 or something like that, have actually got, what was that ping? Have actually got, turn that microphone off.
Something went ping.
Yes, they have actually got removable seats. You just have to pull this thing and they come out of the thing, and then you can. Barney's a big white buff.
Yeah, he was great. We just took all the seats out.
And he turns into a van, basically.
It was great. Just left one seat in for Oscar when we were coming over here to Spain.
Yeah, that's it.
It was fantastic. So
yes, really can. You could put a bed in the back.
Amazing.
You could fit a whole mattress.
Our friends Judith and Mark, they have a Galaxy, and they did, and they used to just take all the seats out and put a double mattress airbed in there and just sleep in the car.
Used to drive all the way to the north of Scotland.
Yeah. But they never slept in the car then.
They didn't. They just didn't stop. They just carried on going.
Yeah. Amazing.
So
they're good cars, and we'll see. We'll let you know.
We will. That'll be the update.
I may have a new car next week.
And so may I by then. If the man who has a Prius that is going to upgrade to my more expensive Prius.
Well, the thing is about Skatz's car is that it's a good car, and we bought it because it was a good
really
car. Good. However, the thing is that now a lot of our money is tied up in it, and
we'd have to scrap it in Spain, and they wouldn't get very much for it.
And that's not what we want to do, because it's worth a lot more money. So we just want to be unlocking that money.
We did. Anyway, so we talked about that last week. So citizenship, latest news from what we've seen on the news. I mean, I thought before that maybe by the end of March it might be okay, but the latest news is that they're talking about anybody who's applied and have been waiting for more than 24 months, which is 2 years, will have got their citizenship a notification by the end of June, which means, and I've only been waiting for 16 months. So we've written to the members of Parliament, and they're all giving the standard answer, which is what the Ministry of Justice is giving, which is We can't tell you. You all have to wait and be patient. So, and the thing is, if we don't know by the end of June, we may be too close to our deadline that we've set for everything moving in time for this year, for when the ferries stop, which is the end of October.
Yeah.
So we've been starting to look at alternatives, although before we decided on this way of driving down and scrapping a car and all of that we made all of those plans, we were looking at all of these different transport possibilities, and we ruled everything else out. But we're starting to look again now, because there's this 5-month dead zone between the end of October and the end of March when the ferries aren't going because the seas are too rough.
Not any of them. None
they don't
of them
sail.
are going.
Except for, there are some carriers. There's no passenger ones going.
No.
So the trucks can still get on some of them. The Stena line will do some in November, December, etc.
To France, won't they?
To France, which we thought, that might be good, but then they won't take pets. They will take cars. They will take passengers.
Yeah, but no,
they won't take pets. So, that's a no for us. So because we're not going without Pip, so that's the end of it. Somebody said you could hire a van one way, but you can't do that from Ireland. There are no companies that do it because they haven't got a company down there. You can do it from the UK.
Yeah. Trust me, I have checked them all.
We've checked them all.
Not one of them will let us drive a car or a van down from Ireland to Malaga and then let us leave it there. We have to drive it back.
One way that we could get there, where there are ferry passengers and they would take pets, is to go Dover to Calais or across the channel there, which is a very short crossing. But that would mean going across to Dublin, then going to Holyhead and then driving down the country, or to Rosslare to Fishguard and then across maybe down to Plymouth and over Portsmouth over to France, or all the way over. Probably quicker to go all the way to Dover and take the shorter route there, and then you've got to drive all the way diagonally all the way down through France, and then all the way down through Spain. And we worked out it would take us about a week altogether. And
being
that would
sensible
be
about
that would be
it
awful.
And stopping in the right places and
because we'll have the dog in the back.
Yeah.
We'll have Pippity.
And
it would be just very expensive in hotels and everything.
Yeah.
And
even if we did the Formula and B&B in France,
these are the cheap hotels.
I just don't think it would be worth it, because the money that we'd have to spend on eating out and finding keto food, so it's going to be quite difficult. I'm sure we'd manage.
And it would just be a really long drive,
and we'd have to go through the UK, which
I don't really want to do that. No. We kind of went off the UK. I mean, not everything about the UK. We love a lot of the people.
The people are great, but
and a load of the history is lovely, and there's lots of things. We don't have any complaints about. Don't complain to us that we hate the UK. We don't.
We just don't.
We don't like driving through
it. That's all. It's just the worst driving ever.
Yeah.
And if we have to go to Dover, it means M25. And if we have to go to Plymouth, it's quite a long journey. It's actually quicker for us. I worked it out. It's actually quicker for us to drive from Fishguard to Plymouth or to Portsmouth, and then get the ferry from there. But of course, the ferries from Plymouth and Portsmouth take longer to get to France, so therefore cost more money, and so it doesn't make any difference.
So but it's quicker to drive to Dover, get a quick ferry over, and then drive down, isn't it?
No,
is it not? Still takes longer.
No, still takes longer. And of course, you're on a ferry for longer if you go.
Yeah, in the rough seas in the middle of winter.
No, thank you.
Yeah, so
it's going to be bad enough going from.
Yeah, we'll forget that then.
Rosslare to Bilbao. So we haven't got any other choice, basically.
The other choice is flying.
Yeah.
And that means that we can't take the car, so we'd have to sell both cars. Get rid before we go. We'd have to get a taxi to the airport, but we'd also have to fly Pippity Scatterdog, and we'd have to send her off to Dublin with a company that do shipping of pets, and so she wouldn't be with us, and I'm sure she'd be extremely scared in the hold of a plane. I know people fly their pets all the time, but she's a very nervous dog. So
I mean, she'd probably be fine, but I just don't like the idea of it and something happening to her and we're not there.
Yeah.
You know, because she's great with us, but you know, she's weird with other people still a little bit, and very nervous with other people. So
yeah. So anyway, but it's, you know, that's a possibility if we want to get out in that dead zone of the 5 months when we can't get out any other way. So,
and the thing is that for me anyway, personally, I know that you're, you know, sort of more stalwart about it and less emotional about it, but for me, having to spend another winter here is not something that I'm looking forward to.
Yeah,
so
it was a tough one.
It was a tough winter this year, especially as we were in lockdown for a lot of it, and my mental health suffers with being here, and it be raining and windy and we can't go out and you can't do anything, and that coupled with the lockdown this year has just exacerbated my seasonal affective disorder and made it very, very unpleasant. And so I don't want to have to do that again. But
as it stands, if we don't get out,
we'll see.
It's going to have to be April next year, so it could be, we're talking a maximum of a year now.
I don't want it to be a year.
But anyway, if it has to be a year, it has to be a year. Yeah, and let's face it, it could go quickly.
If that's the case, we may lose the Kamara's house as well.
We might.
Because I don't know if the absolutely delightful Cheryl will wait for us that long.
Yeah.
And quite right too. And quite right too, really. I mean, you know, she's got to get on with her life and still.
So, that's the Spain news. The U2 Spain channel is doing really well. One of the videos has now passed 2,000 views, which is amazing. I think last week I was talking about it passing 1,000 views. So
it was 800 views.
So it's done nearly 1,200 in a week.
1,200 views in a week, yeah.
Very good.
So I think what it's going to be like next week.
Check that one out.
Could be 4,000 views next week.
Could be, yeah. If the algorithms take hold and it just goes. It's nice. It was nice to see just a 1K, and then just 1.1, 1.2, and it just seems to be climbing all the time.
And in other news that Skatz hasn't mentioned in his little notes and things, I actually made and edited my own video today.
Yeah.
I'm very excited. It was real blood, sweat and tears, let me tell you. Real learning curve using iMovie and working out how everything, what everything is and where it is, which was a nightmare. Even with like about 4 experts on YouTube telling you how to do it. Oh,
I'd forgotten. I don't think I'd completely forgotten, but I'm using a much more complicated program.
Yeah, you are.
And now I'm so used to it now that, and I don't even use anywhere near 10% of what it could do, and what major filmmakers use it for.
Yeah.
But iMovie is a more basic version of that.
You can actually do a hell of a lot on it, though.
You can, yeah. People have made proper feature length.
Yeah.
And Hollywood people have made movies on iMovie.
I know we were talking last week about people who I watch on YouTube, and I know Trent and Ali, who are fabulous. Big shout out to them. They use Final Cut Pro X on a laptop, and there's another couple that I watch called Eamon and Beck, and I know that they use iMovie.
Yeah.
And yet they have drone footage, they put music on, and it's loads of beep, and it's very professional looking.
It is. It's all possible.
And it's just so you can, if you know how to utilise it all, then, you can do it. But, yeah. Steep learning curve.
It is, yes.
So I can now do my own yoga videos and my own aromatherapy videos, so that Skatz, who is starting to get really busy now,
with me puppets,
you can do that, and you don't have to worry about editing my videos as well now, which is great.
Yes, all I do is give it a little whiz with a magic wand with Final Cut Pro.
And then hands it back to me.
And then hands it back. Yeah.
Actually, I've found out how you can enhance it on there too. So it's,
can you?
Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay then.
Yeah,
cool.
So I might not even have to do that. I won't be able to do the sound, but.
So I'll just have to do the sound.
So go and check out my new work. It's like 2 minutes long, and it took me like 4 hours or something, which is like absolutely talk about flipping useless.
That's why I get stuck in here So I get stuck in this studio for days doing half an hour videos. So.
Yeah, so I'm not going to get that elaborate with mine. It'll just be quick splits and little enhancements, and that'll be it.
So so check out U2 Spain, U2 Yoga, U2 Aromatherapy, and the links are down below in the description. Yes, U2 Yoga. The t-shirts we have, of course, we have Ting t-shirts. We've got U2 Yoga. We haven't got any U2 Aromatherapy yet.
No, well, I've only just done the logo for that. So
okay, so they will be coming, and there's the Liz and Skatz logo, the LS logo there, and some with LS Ting on. I don't know if we've got LS Ting, but.
Anyway. No, we haven't got LS Ting, but we have got loads of kind of keto related ones, weight loss related ones.
Yeah, Keto King.
Just some really cool ones. I love them, and I've got the U2. I love the U2 Yoga one. That's really good. But I will be getting an aromatherapy one soon.
Yeah, and all different colours and styles, and of course there's hoodies as well as t-shirts, and there's mugs and phone covers.
Yeah,
things like that.
And they're really quite reasonably priced, I think, and they're really good quality, which I was not expecting. But something else that we do on there is that you can get eco-friendly versions. So they are, using eco-friendly dyes and cotton and sustainable cotton.
Sustainable.
Not restrainable.
Yes. We might need restraints at some point.
Yeah. I definitely need restraints sometimes.
By the way, is that if anybody's using chat, nobody's been on the chat tonight.
No,
I don't know. I think most people are watching afterwards. So hello, if you're watching back afterwards, put your comments in the comments below.
Yeah, we love to hear from you.
And we still like to talk.
Yeah.
And so we'll do the finishing song. Don't forget to subscribe and click on the bell. Ding! And here we go. We've got a happy song. A lot of these happy songs that we're doing now, because they're not in copyright. They're what do they call it? Public domain songs. So some of the ones that we've picked, of course, are ones that were sung in the First World War to keep everybody happy.
Mind you, last week's was dear.
Yeah, and we Darling Clementine we did, didn't we? That was nice.
Yeah.
Still in tune. Good. So we'll leave you with this song.
Ow, the chair was really hurting me.
Is it? Oh, I'm sorry.
I've just got bare legs and
it's all scratchy. I used to sit in that one, but it's not as easy to play the guitar in. And I've been using this one from now on.
Chair for next week.
Yes, when we go to Spain, we're not taking these to Spain. I think find something. That good pace. Pack up your troubles in your old kit bag and smile, smile, smile. While you've a Lucifer to light your fag, smile boys, that's the style. What's the use of worrying? It never was worthwhile. So pack up your troubles in your old kit bag and smile, smile, smile. Pack up your troubles in your old kit bag and smile, smile, smile. Well, leave Lucifer to light your flag. Smile boys, that's the style. What's the use of worrying? It never was worthwhile. So pack up your troubles in your old kit bag and smile, smile, smile. One more time. Pack up your troubles in your old kit bag and smile, smile, smile. While you've a Lucifer to light your flag, smile boys, that's the style. What's the use of worrying? It never was worthwhile. So pack up your troubles in your old kit bag and smile, smile, smile. So thank you very much, everybody. Thank you so much for listening and watching and spreading the word about Ting and Tings. And peace and love and all of that.
Namaste, everybody.
Namaste.
See you next week.
See you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye for now. End stream. End stream.